Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and in this video I'm gonna review the Monchard Skytoucher GMT. In one of my previous videos I reviewed the two Skytoucher automatic. So in this video I'm gonna take a look at the GMT, which is a quartz watch. And as always, let's start off with the specifications first. Okay, let's start with the case diameter. It is 42 millimeters in diameter. The lug width is 20 millimeters. It is around 12.3 millimeters thick. And the lug to lug length is around 50.2 millimeters. The watch got a water resistance of 10 ATM or 100 meters. It got a sapphire crystal and the Ronda 51524H quartz movement, and of course the Ronda is a Swiss-made quartz movement. Okay, let's move on to the design of this watch, and of course this is clearly a pilot inspired watch, or this is a pilot watch, more so than the previous Skytoucher automatic. And these two watches share the same case and the same crown, but the dial is of course different, and this watch got a very typical pilot inspired dial with the bold numerals and all the things you expect from a pilot watch. And of course this is a GMT movement, so we got the GMT second hand, and we also got a pretty interesting date window. This is the green dial version with the vintage inspired Lume. The dial is very military looking, while the case is pretty dressy. This watch doesn't have that complete tool look, but still retains that typical pilot inspired dial. And for those of you who haven't seen my Skytoucher automatic review, the two watches share the same case, as I said, and the same crown, the same case back, etc. And I really like the case on the Skytoucher automatic, and of course the same can be said about this case. The finishing is really nicely done. All the polishing and the brushing on the sides are really nicely done. Got a pretty nice chamfer or round here between the top of the lugs and side, which looks great in my opinion. Got a all polished bezel, which gives this watch a bit more of a dressy feel. We also got the same type of crown, which is that very big, typical pilot watch crown, and it's also signed, which is really nicely done. The crown on this watch and the Skytoucher automatic is actually really nicely done. One of the more attractive looking crowns I have seen on a watch in this price range. And this watch retails for about 3,000 Swedish crowns, which translates to around 360 US dollars. But that is of course including tax here in EU. And if I'm not mistaken, you can get the tax removed if you live outside of the EU. The price of $360 is pretty high considering this is a quartz watch. I think the price of the Skytoucher with the Miura 1950 movement is a bit more attractive in my eyes, but you do get the same level of finishing and the same level of quality as you get with the Skytoucher, while having the convenience of a quartz watch. So of course this is highly subjective if you prefer automatic or quartz. I prefer an automatic or mechanical watch, but a quartz watch is sometimes more convenient. The price is still pretty reasonable considering the quality you get for your money. The case back is also the same as on the Skytoucher, as I said, and I think this case back is actually really nicely done, very high quality, and I personally really like a nicely done solid case back. One thing I did notice is that when you are setting the time, there's a bit of a dead zone between when you move the crown and the crown threads grab the gears for the second hands. So it can sometimes be a bit hard to set the time accurately. It's like it grabs a bit at first, then it stops grabbing and grabs again. Perhaps this is a characteristic of the movement. I'm not really sure, as I haven't taken a look at other watches with the same movement, or perhaps it's just on my watch. But I did notice that, and it can be a bit annoying. Hopefully you can see what I mean on the camera. But other than that, the crown action is really nicely done. One other thing is the straps. The straps are actually really nicely done on these all three watches. They are of really high quality, and I'm pretty surprised to see a strap of this kind of quality and feel in this price range. Typically on watches in this price range, you get a very stiff, boring strap, but these are actually very high quality. They feel pretty nice. I think I prefer the strap on these watches. They are very soft, very comfortable to use, and they also look great. So yeah, that's a great choice of straps on these watches. And of course we're gonna do a quick wrist shot so you can see how it looks on my wrist. Okay, here it is, and as we can see, it sits quite nicely on my 7-inch wrist. And as I said in my review of the Skytouch Automatic, this is a fairly large watch, as we saw with the dimensions. It's still pretty comfortable. It doesn't sit too big. The lugs don't overhang my wrist, of course, but the same can be said with this watch as on the Automatic. I would prefer a 40mm case with shorter lug-to-lug length. But this is of course a pilot watch, and pilot watches tend to be a bit bigger, and this size is fairly reasonable for being a pilot watch. 42 is pretty typical, pretty common, not that big. So yeah, that's of course subjective as always. And I will also leave a Lume shot down in the description so you can see how the Lume looks. Okay, that was all for today's video, and if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let me know what you think of this watch down in the comments. Do you prefer automatic watches or quartz watches? And what do you think of the look of this watch? Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.